The sun's gentle whisper. The world hummed with a heavy, rhythmic pulse. It was the sound of a past built on buried sunlight, a legacy of ancient heat and pressure. We called it progress, but Kazumi felt its weight, a subtle, persistent shadow that clung to the air and muted the colors of the sky. This inheritance, beautiful and deeply flawed, was a testament to human ingenuity. The fossil fuels we burned were the highly concentrated energy of prehistoric life, compressed over millions of years into a potent, combustible form. It was a fascinating, if dangerous, alchemy. The past is not a bucket to be emptied, but a well to be drawn from. This shadow, she knew, was a consequence of our ingenuity. For centuries, we had burned the fossilized remains of forests and oceans, releasing carbon that had been locked away for eons. This release disrupted the planet's delicate carbon cycle, a natural system that had maintained a stable climate for millennia. The planet, in turn, began to warm, its delicate balance shifting like a ship in a storm. The seasons blurred, and the whispers of a changing climate grew louder. Kazumi felt a profound sense of responsibility, not for the past, but for the future. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and some of them have a long, slow echo. But then, one day, Kazumi looked up. She saw the sun, not as a distant light, but as a boundless, living furnace. She felt the wind, not as a simple breeze, but as a current of kinetic energy. She realized the solution wasn't to search for something new, but to simply see what had always been there, waiting. This was a profound, humbling realization, a return to ancient wisdom. Wind power, for example, has been used for over 5,000 years to power ships and grind grain. The sun's power has been harnessed for centuries to heat homes and cook food. We were simply rediscovering and scaling up these timeless truths. The greatest discoveries are often not in finding new lands, but in seeing with new eyes. The journey began with a blueprint, a collective decision to build a new kind of world. It wasn't about a single invention, but a grand, interconnected system. The transition was a complex dance of engineering and empathy, a just transition that sought to empower communities and workers as we moved away from the old ways. It was a testament to the power of a shared vision, a recognition that the shift to a new energy economy must be equitable and inclusive. This was a social and cultural project, as much as it was a technological one. A single seed of an idea, when nurtured, can grow into a forest of change. The work was immense. We built solar farms that mirrored the fields they replaced, and wind turbines that stood like silent sentinels on the horizon. The process was a powerful blend of human labor and technological innovation. It was a grand, collective ascent, a climb towards a cleaner future. The scale was staggering. A single wind turbine blade can be longer than a Boeing 747 wing, and a solar farm can power thousands of homes. It was a testament to our ability to build big and bold when we work together. The longest journey begins with a single step, and the greatest change with a single act of will. The true genius, however, was in the unseen. We wove a new kind of tapestry, a smart grid that connected every home and every turbine, balancing the flow of energy with elegant precision. We learned to store the sun's power in batteries, a modern-day reservoir of light. It was a system that was not only cleaner, but also more resilient and democratic. The smart grid, unlike the old one-way system, allowed for a two-way flow of information, enabling homes to generate and sell their own power back to the grid. It was a revolution in energy distribution. The strength of a network is not in its individual parts, but in the seamlessness of its connections. But this was not just a story of technology. It was a story of people, the engineers who designed the systems, the policymakers who championed the cause, and the everyday citizens who chose to make small changes. It was a mosaic of human effort, a reminder that the greatest challenges are overcome not by one hero, but by a community of many. From the community organizer fighting for a solar installation on a school roof, to the artist using recycled materials to create a climate change mural, every action mattered. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. As the transition neared completion, the air grew lighter, the rivers ran clearer, and the forests breathed a sigh of relief. The world began to find a new balance, a quiet harmony with its energy source. It was a return to a fundamental truth, that the Earth's rhythms were our own, and to live in balance with them was to live in peace. The reduction in particulate matter from fossil fuel combustion led to a significant decrease in respiratory illnesses, a tangible benefit of the clean air. In all things of nature, there is something of the marvelous. The new world had bloomed. Cities were now vertical gardens, their buildings adorned with solar-integrated architecture. The streets were clean, and the air was crisp. It was a new normal, a world where technology and nature were no longer at odds but worked together in a beautiful, seamless dance. The buildings themselves were now living things, with green roofs that absorbed rainwater and vertical farms that provided fresh produce. It was a world that was both high-tech and deeply connected to the earth. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. The journey was long, but it was a return to a fundamental truth. The sun's energy, once trapped in the Earth's crust, was now a free-flowing echo of life, a constant reminder of our capacity for change. The shadow had lifted, and the world hummed with a new, lighter rhythm, the unfolding echo of the sun. It was a story not of sacrifice, but of liberation. We had freed ourselves from a heavy past and created a future that was not only sustainable, but also more beautiful and just. The best way to predict the future is to create it.